Talking about Lord of the Rings, the new Prime series, Rings of Power, and the character posters with a twist.
And the twist is you don't get to see the characters.
Yeah.
They did this thing, and I got to tell you, I'm very impressed with how Amazon's rolling this out. They're doing this pour thing. We talked about this in an article last week where they're pouring out these rings, and then it zooms back, and you're like, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And it says the Rings of Power. And you're like, oh, you guys teased us, right? Because it's a teaser trailer. Now they're throwing out posters of the characters. And then when you open it, you're like, oh, damn, these aren't, this is the character's hands and their weapon or their whatever they're holding. But if you know anything about the Lord of the Rings, then this gives you a little bit of a hint as to what's coming. And that's what they want to do. They're slowly leading us down the trail to get us more intrigued, more interested, until we finally are like, okay, just give us the dang series already.
Yeah.
So as we scroll down, I can give you ideas on a few of these. Okay.
All right. Well, let's go to the top real quick.
So at the top, this is obviously a dwarf.
Yeah. He has the gold on his hands.
So he's got the beard in the front. So their beards are tied in the front. And so that's going to be a dwarf.
And that's a hammer, obviously.
And he's got, yeah, well, I guess that kind of gives it away, doesn't it? Yeah. So and there's a hammer. So that's pretty cool. Now, who's it going to be? We don't know, but the dwarf lords helped make the rings. So that's important. The next one we got coming down, it's kind of hard to tell. It's
might be a dwarf, another dwarf, because I noticed that these two have gold on their hands, like they're miners.
Well, that's good, possibly, but dwarves usually have probably sturdier hands. So this probably is going to be more like maybe even though the hobbits weren't really mentioned at that time, it's probably going to be a softer character. Maybe an elf, although it looks a little bit more hefty, too hefty to be an elf.
Yeah, I think it might just be maybe it's a female dwarf.
Yeah, this one down here is probably going to be a female elf or human.
This one right here that you're looking at?
Yeah.
That's not female. Those are male hands.
That's a girl hands, dude.
You're crazy. Those are male hands.
You think so?
Bet you another movie ticket.
Doesn't look like he's wearing a dress.
They all wear dresses.
That's not true.
I'll bet you a movie ticket. That's a man.
You think that's a man? Well, how are we going to know?
When it comes out, whoever's wearing that dress and those rings, that's the character.
All right. I mean, it's screaming feminine to me, but you could be right.
Screaming masculine to me.
Okay. This one down here. Okay, you see the city on top of the scepter?
Yeah.
So that's probably going to have to be. That's probably the city of men, like the Dunedain or something. The person below that's wearing armor.
That looks like a female.
Well, and look at the thumbnail.
Oh, it's
it's extended, so it probably is a woman, and it's got you're right. The hips are kind of shapely.
Yeah.
So it's maybe could be a elvish.
Although I have been told that I have shapely hips.
Sorry about that. What do we got here? A farmer.
Some kind of farmer,
that's a scythe.
That's a scythe for cutting wheat.
Okay, and then obviously you've got a
wizard,
or maybe like a
mage,
one of the city lords or something like that, or one of the.
But you have to understand, they're all holding their weapons. What's a wizard's weapon?
I mean, they don't really have scrolls though. If this was D&D, I'd say yeah.
I mean, I think wizards probably study their magic.
I mean, not in the Lord of the Rings universe, they don't talk about that. But I guess, I guess D&D did create that where you had to study it, but it was never something that was suggested by Tolkien.
I mean, if you have to show a weapon, I feel like that'd be I don't know, who knows? Maybe it's a scribe. I don't know.
Scribe, that's probably what it is.
And this is an archer, looks like.
This is probably going to be an elf. You've got the leaves, maybe of like Lothlorien. You've got the kind of the face there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the broken blade. Of course, we had the broken blade. That's
in the Lich sword, right?
No.
I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings. I'm talking about like all like Warcraft.
Oh,
terminology.
yeah, no, this the sword was broken. So when they fought Sauron, and they cut off his hand, what the ring was on, the blade was broken that had been forged, and eventually Aragorn would that was his family's heritage blade. So maybe they're showing the blade broken, because it happened in that age for sure. And then if you scroll down, you've got, maybe this is the horsemen of the Rohirrim. These are the guys who have horses. They're men. What do we got here? We got some acorns.
Maybe another wizard.
No, this is probably a common folk, I'm guessing.
Common folk.
Dirty hands.
Maybe she uses acorns as like projectiles, and she makes some magic like Gambit.
Not every character is going to be.
Erected Pobrenas.
Well, you got to remember they had the person with a scythe, so there's going to be apparently farming and gathering. Even if you scroll down, you've got somebody else with another farming implement. Possibly, it looks like, right? If you keep scrolling, somebody's picking berries. What the heck's going on here? Is this like a food commercial? Now you've got, look, another scroll.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe somebody who's a tracker. Somebody else with dirty hands. Oh, it looks like they're holding their stomach.
There's a lot of characters in this. My God.
Right.
I feel like this
somebody holding a rope.
Characters.
Somebody with a flower. This looks very feminine.
Yeah, those are feminine hands for sure.
Somebody with a book. All right, keep going. But there is one more down here that we definitely want to see. So this could be the elf lords. Scroll back up. Keep going. Right there. That could be one of the elf lords.
Okay.
This is Snow White's Wicked Witch. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this is Sauron, right?
This is Sauron, yes. Because the gauntlet, I believe, was the same one we saw in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Right.
And of course, the sword. So yeah, this is just like another little taste that we're getting. And, we're going to have to wait till September 2nd to see what happens. But are you more intrigued as they give us more things, or what do you think?
I'm intrigued, but I'm also a little worried that there are like 27 characters. I don't like that.
Well, they're not going to focus on all of them, obviously, but
right. But the Wheel of Time had too many characters.
Well, what's interesting about the Wheel of Time, it had a lot of characters, but it only had 6 or 7 main characters. So yeah, so that is something to be concerned about. Could be.
All right. All right. Well, moving on.